Dealing with sore joints or dry skin? Try All Balm. Our CBD topicals are fast absorbing, non-greasy, and smell amazing. Now available at 2U Wines in South Euclid. Sip, shop, and feel better. Now,
what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Pull Up Experience. Yes. We are at episode 301. Can you believe it? That is something to be excited about. Like, it's just amazing. We're happy to be here. And guess what? We have a special guest today. Super happy about this guest, especially with the climate of the world and things that are going on. We wanted to give the people something to get the facts, to learn. And if you don't know some things, maybe you can learn with this episode about how the government works and things that we can do so that the people's voice is heard. This evening we have with us Miss Khalilah Lawson.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Khalilah is a magistrate and she is running to be judge in Cleveland, Ohio, guys.
Yes, I
Look
am.
at this young lady. She is a young lady. Let's get her
Let's
in.
go. Let's
Yes. Introduce yourself to the people. Let everybody know who you are.
Hi, everybody. My name is Khalilah Lawson. I am the senior magistrate at the Cleveland Municipal Court, and I am the people's candidate. I'm here to serve you all, serve the city of Cleveland, and make sure we have good, fair, equitable judges on the bench who really care about the people in the city and really want to make a difference for the right reasons.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, Khalilah, we like to take it back in the time.
Okay, let's take
and
it
then
back.
bring
Let's go
and
back.
then pull it forward.
Okay.
So take us back first off. Going back to your childhood, what hood would you represent of Cleveland? Are you Cleveland born and raised first
Cleveland
off?
born and raised
Okay.
all day,
Let me
every day,
get myself
hands
together.
down.
Okay. And then what hood are you repping?
So Collinwood neighborhood. Yes, I'm a graduate
Wood.
from the Woodhouse, go Railroaders. My blue and my gray.
Yes.
I'm a graduate of Collinwood High School,
Okay.
CMSD graduate. Attended CMSD schools growing up, first generation college student as well. So I grew up in that neighborhood. My parents still live there. My childhood home is there in the neighborhood. Been there over 30 years. So that's where I'm from. That's where I'm born and raised. My father's a pastor, so our church is over on Kipling, right behind Collinwood as well.
Exactly where
So
Kipling
yeah,
is.
152nd, that whole little intersection over there where you got the Kims, China Mountain, the whole little, yes.
China Mountain.
Right. Taking it back, right?
Right. Legendary place. Okay. Well, awesome. So tell us what kind of got you jump started into, obviously maybe you were interested in like history and later on maybe the politics, or did that come later in life?
I would say I like to talk.
Okay.
I like to talk a lot. I remember when I was a really little girl, my godmother put me out of her apartment. She's like, "Girl, you just won't stop talking. Just get out, get out." So I'm sitting on the other side of the door. I'm like, "Auntie Billy put me out." She's like, "Girl, you just go." But I've always liked to defend my perspective. Like I always had an answer for stuff. Every time somebody said something, it was a rebuttal or an answer or a response. So I think it came from like that perspective of wanting to get engaged in law, because I was told, you know what, you might be a good litigator. You would be good in the courtroom. And so that was just what was in me, and I just like to advocate for people or speak up, when I saw something being done to somebody wrong, I'm like, that's not right, or why are we doing it this way? Why can't we do it this way? And I think that's what kind of got me into it. Also, one of my favorite movies is A Time to Kill. So I don't know if the audience,
Yes, that's
one
a
of my
very good
favorite
movie.
movies with
Yes.
Samuel L. Jackson and Matthew McConaughey. And just watching the dynamics that happened in that movie and how it unfolded, and knowing that the law is not just black and white, it's always gray in there, but making sure that people are represented right, wrong, or indifferent, but making sure that there are good advocates there. And from there, just wanted to make sure that I was standing up and being a voice for the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Khalilah, do you remember the person that sparked that interest in you and told you that you might be good at that?
My parents.
Your parents?
My parents, it was
They were
I remember when I was a little
"Girl,
girl.
You need to, girl, you just be going. You need to.
Yes, they got me a
Good
cake.
advice.
They got me a cake when I was little, and the cake said, "Just answer my question."
Ooh.
Because I would say that, I'm like, just answer the question. Like, why are we going up? I'm like, can y'all just answer the question? And it was just like, answer the question. And I think it was really just in the home.
That was good.
And that's where it started with my parents. And they were just huge advocates, got me involved in programs like Upward Bound, Trio, making sure I got exposed to historically Black colleges and universities, and just still behind me. Like I said, I'm a first generation college student, the first one to get a 4-year degree, but I've always had a great foundation at home and parents and siblings that were supportive and constantly, pushed me and believed in my dreams.
Nice.
Awesome. So, okay, so we get out of college, you've done all the studies. So what got, I guess, your feet wet into, wanting to go into the legislative, system and things of that nature?
So when I went to college, I went to Grambling State University. So I got to shout out Grambling, my HBCU. Go Tigers, Graham fam. I majored in English and criminal justice. So, always been engaged. But I was involved in the NAACP in college. I was president of our NAACP chapter. When there was an incident going on when I was in college called the Gina Six. And so I don't know if anybody may remember that, but it was where
Gina Six.
Yeah, Gina, Louisiana.
It sounds familiar.
It was like 6 young men that were accused of it was like a racial incident that happened on campus, and the catalyst for it was a noose being hung outside the school.
Yes.
So it was like a huge protest. Jeff Johnson at the time, who was the president of our youth and college chapter, they came down there. I mean, SELU, it was just a huge protest. And I remember like the week of, I was like, we got to get down to Gina. We got to make T-shirts that say, justice or injustice. My criminal justice professor, who I still talk to every single day from this day, wrote my phone number on the board at school. And I'm like, why are all these people blowing up my phone? They're like, they said you was starting to march. They said that, we was getting a bus. And so like me, the vice president, a couple other people, like a street team, we just got a charter bus. We were up to like 4 a.m. packing lunches for everybody, and we pulled it off. And we got the bus down there to advocate. And like I said, I've always been, a person to want to advocate and stand for what's right. And so, those type of experiences.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's stay in the background, because when we get up right now, boy, go ahead, Brittany. Go ahead, Brittany.
I'm still cooking up, y'all.
No, really. Okay, awesome. So so you've done a lot of work. So for someone that maybe is wanting to get into this as well, what would you give as far as advice of maybe some characteristics they need to have, some skill sets that they need to have to be able to get started and jumpstart that?
I would say don't ever let anybody tell you what you can't do.
Okay.
Right. I think that's
I told you to say my best, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't come for me. I'm doing my best. So not Brandon.
Yeah, don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams. I think coming from the inner city, being, this little Black girl from the hood, who would have thought that I would be in the position that I am right now, running for political office? Because there are so many naysayers and people like, oh, you can't do that. No, that never happens. That only happens on TV or in the dreams. You can really do anything you set your mind to. And I know it sounds cliche, but I mean, long as you're dedicated, you have great people around you that feed into what your passion is and what your drive is. Surround yourself with positive people and positive thinking mindsets, where nothing is impossible. It's like, oh, you want to do what? Okay, let's do it. Let's get it done. And setting those stages and platforms for you to do it. I didn't grow up with mentors. I didn't know any lawyers, any counsel people, whoever to say, oh, when you get out of law school, we'll give you a nice fancy job and all that. That did not happen. My dad made me these business cards that were red, black, and green. And they said, I speak truth to power. So I'm like, well, Dad, what I'm supposed to go in the courtroom? I might as well put it like a fist on the business card. He's like, no, you go in that courtroom, you hand your business card out. And I did it from, janitorial staff, all the way to judges, anybody that I came in contact with, like you were saying, gave them my card until I was offered a job in a position. And that's literally how it happened. I got offered a job. I started off doing defense work just on my own. And then I got offered a position with the county prosecutor's office. And then I did that and then worked my way through, became a magistrate for probate court, doing wills, estates, and trusts. And now I'm at the Cleveland Municipal Court.
And how long have you been a magistrate?
So I've been a magistrate for 5 years.
Okay.
I I started off, like I said, as a magistrate at probate court doing wills, estates, and trusts because as we know within our community and the saying within our church, Black churches is make sure you have your papers in order. And a lot of us don't want to talk about it, or we don't like to talk about it. We think, it's kind of taboo. But when our loved ones transition, we need to make sure that where's the will, where's the bank accounts, where's the information, so that when that time does come, we can be prepared for that. And so I did that for 2 years, and then I transitioned to the municipal court where I am now. And I've been there for 3 years, and now I'm a senior magistrate, which means I supervise all the magistrates at the court, making sure our policies and procedures are in place and running smoothly, and then still do, all the regular day-to-day work.
Yeah.
So Brandon doesn't know.
Brandon, you don't know.
Brandon doesn't know. So can you explain to Brandon what the responsibilities of a magistrate is versus a judge? Like, if there's any differences at all.
Okay. So the way I explain it, a magistrate is like a junior judge. We essentially do the same exact work that judges do, but as the magistrate, the judge always has to sign off on anything we do. So like, if you come down to municipal court and you have a traffic ticket and you have to come to the arraignment room, as magistrates, we do the arraignments. I do trials, criminal trials. We do civil trials. We do small claims. So if you got a neighbor dispute and your neighbor want to sue you for, cutting down their fence or something for $6,000, we hear those cases. We sentence people. We do everything a judge does. They just, sign off on it.
I didn't know that part. Okay.
Trials, hearings, sentencings, mediations. We have an expungement docket that we do. We have 4 specialty dockets, which is the Veterans Court docket, drug court, human trafficking, and mental health. And so we're making sure, like, the municipal court is like, a court of second chances, making sure that we're trying to provide programming for people to prevent recidivism and things like that.
Wow. Okay.
No.
Yeah, now you know.
Now you know.
The more you know that PBS.
Exactly.
We were discussing, the legwork that it takes. I mentioned in the beginning that Khalilah is running for judge, to become a judge. And we were talking about the legwork, the footwork that it takes in order to get your name out there. And I was watching videos of the elements. I mean, she is in the elements and all day. I'm talking about hail, sleet.
I'm talking about turtleneck.
All of that. Like, she is in the elements, and we were talking about how important it is to actually see a person and touch a person and hear a person. When you approach people, that's important. They can hear about everything, but when you walk up, they're like, oh, okay. So they get a personal touch. And talk about that. Talk about making sure how you're staying on top of getting out here and meeting people where they are.
So we are a grassroots campaign. Boots on the ground. We have the song that we hear, Boots on the Ground, but we are literally boots on the ground, grassroots. And I know a lot of times people like to throw out that word, but no, we are really out there. We're knocking on doors. We're going out into different communities. Right now, what's going on in the city is early voting. Early voting is happening right now at the Board of Elections on 18th and Superior through Sunday. And clearly I got on my turtleneck now because I was coming straight here from the Board of Elections. But we are there from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Last week the weather was horrible. It was raining, hail, and sleet. But with the ear muffs on, boots, the coat, because it's so important to show people that this is how I'm showing up. And I'm showing up for you like this now in the elements to ensure that you meet me and can see me and touch me. This is how I'm going to show up on the bench. I think it's the grit, it's the hard work, it's the late nights. But people see that, they can feel that. And especially when you're having the conversations, people see your spirit. And I feel like they can feel it. And the fact that we are still showing up, it's like, oh, it's too rainy, it's too this, it's too cold, it's too that. No, I'm here to make sure I meet the people, talk to the people, and show up for them just like I would show up on the bench and expect me to do, the same job day in and day out. It's a lot of work to make sure that you get your name out there so people really know who you are, not just a specific candidate that's being pushed by an agenda or anything like that. I always say, I don't have a political agenda. My goal for running for judge is to make sure that we are breaking barriers for our community where they're affected by the criminal justice system. And we have to do that one step at a time. But I have an amazing group of family members and friends that are standing behind me, you know, to make sure that we're touching as many people as we can.
And the pull up.
Yes, and the pull up experience. Yes, the podcast. These conversations are really making sure that we get the message across to the audience we need to reach.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say that for a lot of when election day comes, or even days getting to it, we tend to see that the polls don't have as many voters.
Mm-hmm.
So, or a lot of them don't even really have the knowledge and understanding to maybe make the vote. So what would you encourage that we can be able to maybe get those numbers up, especially as we now know with our new president, how important it would have been had we had more feet on the ground, more boots on the ground, having, you said what happened?
20% in Cuyahoga County
Mm-hmm.
voted.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To me, that's
bad.
low.
Right.
That's horrible.
That's low.
Exactly.
Yeah, I read that
And I
today.
feel like there's got to be a way that we can increase the numbers. So what would you say is maybe some different things that we can do to increase more voters and get more of the right people in place?
I think platforms like this, like the podcast, that you're having, or, how we have events, we might have a sip and paint or something like that. Well, let's have a voting party. Let's have people pull up. Let's print off the sample ballot, because people think, oh, it's boring, I don't want to talk about it, but it's like, no, pull up the sample ballot, bring the ballot with you. Let's play some games, let's talk about it, and then let's talk about the candidates on the ballot and see, okay, do you know this person? What do you know about this person? Maybe candidate trivia, something like that. Because again, I think what our generation needs to realize is our voice matters. I think a lot of the conversation is, well, my voice don't matter, my voice doesn't count. But on a local level, your voice has the most impact, because, and this is what I tell people when I'm having conversations. I said, well, we all have family members that have been affected by the criminal justice system. They'll go into court, complain about the judge, and say, oh, the judge gave such 20 years, 30 years, did this. My response is, did you vote?
Exactly.
Did you vote? Do you know who that judge is? Did you know who they ran against? Did you know when their term started? You don't know anything about it. And it's like, we cannot complain if we're not becoming a part of the solution and having the conversations. We can get dressed for everything else. We can go out to party for everything else. Let's put the same energy into voting and educating ourselves about, that process. Wow. So I think we just got to make it fun.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah. People remember fun too. I have a question. So you're running for judge, and I've seen people run for judge all the time. I know that this administration during the first term, they put in more judges than any other president in history. So that's my question. How did they put in judges?
So it's a difference with federal level and then municipal. Okay. So the president has the power to appoint judges on a federal level. Okay. But even on a local level, so right now in the municipal court, we have a Republican governor, right? Right. So say that a seat becomes vacant in our municipal court or our state court, which is like, let me break it down. So we have municipal court, which is what I'm running from. Okay. Right. So that's like your minor misdemeanors and misdemeanors up to the first degree. The most time you can get in jail is 180 days. Okay. So it's like, it's misdemeanor court. Okay. Then you have your court of common pleas, which is felony court. So that's your burglaries, homicides, murders, things like that. So say if a seat becomes vacant, meaning maybe a judge, something happened in the middle of their term, the governor can appoint another judge to fill that seat. But if you have a Republican governor,
so of course
they're going to appoint. Exactly. But federal judges are appointed, period. They don't have to run for office. They are appointed if you're serving on the federal level. Municipal judges have to run for office. So that's what I am. I have to run to be elected. But that's how the appointments come into play. And president has the power to make those appointments. Depending on who's in office, they're going to appoint the judges that they want on a federal level. Okay.
So my next question leading off of that is that like a goal to step, is that like a ladder as far as a judge? Like, is it normal to feel like, okay, well, I want to eventually step up to
some are happy, in the position they are at the municipal level. Some are happy, at the state level, common pleas. Some want to be federal judges and have those appointments, or be like Ketanji and be, on the Supreme Court and have a lifetime appointment. I just think it depends on what people think that they can best do to serve their community.
Okay.
You know, and where do I feel where I can make the most difference?
Yes.
Can I make the most difference on the federal level? Can I make the most difference in the municipal court
Right.
here within my city?
Mhm.
So, you know, everybody's different, but I think a lot of times it just depends on, you know, what difference you want to make.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, so a lot of people may not see it from this perspective, but even with you running, you know, for judge, that there's a lot of entrepreneurial skills that you need to have in order to make it work. So can you tell us about, you know, getting it out the mud to really, you know, be able to get your name truly out there? I know you said that you've been out there making sure that your face is seen,
Mm-hmm.
but what's some other things that from an entrepreneur standpoint?
I mean, building a website.
Oh,
Building.
okay,
So my
yeah.
website is www.klawsonforjudge.com. But going into this, nobody thinks through all these things. You're like, wait, I gotta make a website?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to build a website? And it's a lot of Googling and a lot of, you know, YouTube University. My husband actually, you know, built the website for the campaign, and it's not just the landing page. We have videos on there. We have the endorsements on there, photos, other information. But things like, you know, okay, how do I build a website? Organizing as far as events. You think about an event coordinator because you have to go to these war club meetings. You have to go to galas. You have to go to, you know, information sessions, making sure that you're going to block club meetings and things like that. I have to follow a certain calendar, making sure events are scheduled.
Yes.
Creating flyers.
Yeah.
Creating literature, like, you know, you think about social media, like who's my person to do the production and the marketing. I'm blessed to have my sorority sister that helps me with that, that's doing the design for that. So you think of it like you're running a business. It's literally like running a business. Like, who's my marketing person? Who's my you know, coordinator for volunteers? Who's on the technical side? Who's responding to the emails? Because if you have people that are volunteering or interested, you got to have somebody that's sending out that marketing information. The billboards, we have billboards. Making contracts for the billboards, negotiating the contracts for that. I mean, the fundraisers. Who's planning the fundraisers, the food, the logistics, the balloons, the decor, RSVPs. It's like a major business that people don't see behind the scenes.
That's for sure.
Yes.
That's for sure.
But we've done it. We do it with grace. We do it with class. And every event that we've hosted has been extremely successful. But again, we are a family grassroots campaign. So we're not outsourcing and saying, okay, I'm gonna hire this company. No, we get the balloons, we blow them balloons up, you tie them together, we put the banners with it. We're, you know, putting the menu together, putting the food together, doing, you know, the setup for everything. My mom and cousin are my treasurers and co-treasurers. So, you know, everything is a family component that we do. And I think that's the love and energy that we bring. Like, no, this is all love. It's all family.
Yes. I think that makes a difference.
Yeah,
absolutely. It makes a huge difference. And in the world of social media, that also, because, you know, back when I was
you're like,
I ain't telling my age now, but, you know, back in our day, that's all we would see is maybe the signs in the yard. We would see, you know, for those that really were about their business, we would see their faces in the communities, things like that. But there was no social media back then to really help your name and face get out there. So do you also take advantage of like social media, and in what ways? So that way we can get the younger, you know, generation to get them more involved in the voting, you know, system as well.
I do. I have an Instagram, I have a Facebook, and that's another part of the entrepreneurial aspect of it. I do all my posting. So I don't have anybody that, you know, that's a job. It is. Because every time it's an event, we're taking pictures. Okay, let me post. Let me make sure the caption reads properly. Did you tag this person? Did you put it in your story? You know, did you make the reel? Is the reel with the pictures and the music? Does that all match up in the line? And so I was like, that's a job in and of itself. But we do have a social media. We're very active on Facebook, on Instagram, and especially like with that younger generation, trying to follow the trends and TikToks to keep them engaged. I met one young lady over the weekend, and she wasn't sure if she was registered to vote because she said she hadn't voted in a long time. I said, well, let me look it up for you. So just giving that information to say, you can go to the Ohio Secretary of State, you can Google it and just say, Google my registration. And her name came up. I said, you're registered to vote. She just didn't know. And, you know, telling people how to vote. Like, I have my leaflet here and it has a QR code. I'm going to just throw this up real quick. But a part of the education, because a lot of people think, oh, they can scan the QR code to go vote. And I have to explain, like, no, this is to take you to the website. You actually have to go in person to vote. So it's a lot of nuances
Yeah.
that people really don't realize. But it's just having the conversations and education. But yeah, Instagram, Facebook, we have ads that are on social media. We have commercials that are playing on the radio right now.
Cool,
So
cool. I think a strong campaign is the things that you mentioned. When
Set
you
a
said
cozy mood. Shea butter and warm sugar is where it's at. Or maybe you're more in a champagne spritz and roses type mood. Whatever the mood, set it with one of these Febreze Air Mist fragrances today.
when Obama was running, or President Obama was running, and how they were on the ground like that, trying to get those young people involved. And I think nowadays, having events, trying to find even people in the city. It doesn't necessarily have to be a celebrity, but people in the city that the younger generation can relate to. Trying to have people like that at your events and have people that can represent you, will get them to come. And I'm just thinking in my mind of things because of the fact that hearing that 20% voted, like I know some people have problems with rides, and I think that the pull-up experience, we do all that we can to try to get all information out there, but I'd like to participate in trying to figure out ways we can get people to the polls. We definitely need to do that right now. It's crazy right now.
And I don't, driving, picking up, but I think I think in the era and age that we live in, everything has to be glamorized. And if it doesn't appear to be glamorized, then it's like, oh well, I'm not interested in that. And so agree. Trying to have people, maybe our content creators and things like that talk more about the political process may make it more interesting or intriguing. But I worked for President Obama's campaign. I worked for Organizing for America and was a part of the grassroots team, because my generation felt like, oh my gosh, we're engaged, we feel empowered, like this is about to be our first Black president. We were excited about it, and I just feel like that sense of excitement, is not really there, I think, because of the climate that we're in. So people just feel like, I'm just tapped out. Like, you know what? Get somebody else to do it. I'm done. And we just have to bring that fire back and let them know, like,
But I think it's set up that way. I think it's set up that way for us to be overwhelmed and just over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too much going on. Let's just be over it. But I also think that people are realizing the importance more than ever right now of us getting out there trying to make a difference. And especially judges. I don't think people, like, everything that's being done pretty much has to go through the judges right now. All of the laws that are being broken, all of the new things that are changing and trying to change the amendments and all of that stuff has to go through the judges. That's why so many judges were put in place, because they know when it comes down to the law and the bottom line is these things have to go through the judges. And so it's very important that we get out here and we vote in the midterms and we vote in,
and people don't realize that it's the midterms that makes a difference, that carry, that set the tone and the pace. And that's why we need the engagement, because again, the judges are here to enforce the laws, and if it's on the books and this is what's going on, the judges have to do their job in that sense. But it's like, people need to know, we can set the tone for Congress and the Senate. All of this is all works together, it's all intertwined together.
That's a good point. And I'm sorry, you know what? From the very beginning, we probably should have introduced the new face that we have kind of showing up on the scene. So Miss Candace is also here to kind of, get a feel for the pull-up experience. Okay. And you know what? Me and the kid, we used to just ping pong in this thing. But do you have any questions that you want to interject in that? Or you just enjoy the experience right now?
Cut it out. No. Cut. No. But no, seriously, one of the things that really drew my attention was you saying that everything had to be glamorized. And I do notice that everything is, on social media has to have some type of aesthetic or something. But when it comes to politics is very cut and dry. Like, we need solutions. We need people out here that's, like you said, boots on the ground. So where do you find that intersection? Like, how do you,
I think we have to start getting into the schools.
Into
early.
the schools. Okay.
Yeah. Into the schools early, because I mean that's the generation
Mhm.
that we are trying to reach. These are your upcoming voters that
Okay.
will be
Absolutely.
18.
Mhm.
And having conversations with them, like, what are we missing?
Mhm.
Because I can't, come up with answers or solutions. I want to hear
Mhm.
from you. Why do you feel like, your voice is not heard, or
Mhm.
what do you want to hear from me that will entice you
Absolutely.
to become involved in the political process? And a lot of it that I've heard is that nobody just ever talked to us about it.
Exactly.
Like there's just
Exactly.
no conversation. They've taken
I can see
civics
that.
out of the schools,
Yeah.
out of the classrooms, and there's no talk about government and civics and
Yes.
engagement in high school and middle school.
Mhm.
But I think something that's so fun. I do like a moot court mock trial where I do like career day with the kids,
Okay.
right? And so
I bet
I'll
that's really fun.
yes, we
No,
come into the
but seriously.
classrooms. I'll have on my robe, and they look forward now to it every year because it's all impromptu.
Yeah.
There is no like script or anything. I will come in and I'll say, y'all create the scenario. And so we'll break up the group. I say, okay, you be the prosecutor, you be the defense attorney, you be the witness, you be the defendants, and we just break them up. I say, okay, what's the scenario? Just yell something out, yell anything out. They're like, okay, black car, SUV, we was on 79th and Superior. I'm like, okay, what happened? So they'll just yell out all these different facts. And then I'm like, okay,
That's cool.
we'll create a really quick scenario, and then I'll go whisper to each team, okay, like this is how you do an opening statement. But I let them be creative in how they speak and how they defend their clients. And a lot of our kids have raw talent.
Mhm.
And I'm
yes,
like,
they do.
that
They
was
really
a good
do.
argument.
They do.
And they look forward to it, and it's so much fun. So I think having programs like that in the school to introduce them to trial work, litigation, because we do it every day. Like they in class, they argue with their friends, going back and forth. We just don't put a name on it. Be like, you know what? You would be so great in the courtroom.
You know what?
And then those
Yes.
things trigger,
Yes.
that in their mind. So I think we have to make it fun. And I think that's a
Yes.
good way to do it.
Now you know what? My school actually did have mock trial and also what is it? Street law.
Oh yes, I love good street law. Yeah.
But they don't have those programs anymore.
Nope.
So piggybacking off the last question I wanted to ask, who would you want to speak with in these schools, or who would you want to reach out to you to create more, synergy with this?
The CEO. I would love to talk to the CEO of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District and say, can we get back to that? Like I said, I was a part of a program called Upward Bound and Trio, and I wrote
They
a.
still have a
Yep.
program? I thought so.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
They still have it at Case.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a curriculum called Criminal Theories, because they asked me, did I want to come and teach? I said, of course. Like, I love where I can teach and practice. If I could teach law, that would be great. So I wrote a curriculum called Criminal Theories, where I taught about Fourth Amendment rights, searches and seizures, police encounters, but we tied it to hip hop as well. And
That'll do it.
right. And so it was
bridging that connection.
yeah, and it was a great class, and we had different topics that we talked about, different hypotheticals, but we also have a program like similar called the 3 R's. It's called Reading Rights and Responsibilities, that we through the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, and we do it in CMSD schools.
Okay.
So it's a
shout out to
volunteer,
MSD.
it's a volunteer program that we do within the schools. But I do think, and I would love to collaborate and think that all CMSD schools should have a law program in it. You can't just expect people to graduate.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, now go be a law-abiding citizen.
Speaking into existence.
So I would love to do that.
And I think that, I know that these things are done purposely, and you have kids and all they see, if they're watching TV or if they don't live in the best neighborhood or a good neighborhood, all you see is the police mistreating, and you don't that's what but nobody, like you said, is talking to you about how important it is that you vote the judges in, that you vote Congress in, that you vote the
or your
Senate
city
in.
council people,
Yes,
for that matter.
and your city council people. I don't think you have those people. It's done, to me, I feel like it's done purposely, because when someone is educated and they know better, you can't keep them down.
Exactly.
You cannot keep them down. And I read a post, and it was saying something along the lines of, I've always thought, like, why do they not pay teachers? Why do they not pay teachers? Like, what is the argument against paying teachers? And they are the beginning of it all. Well, the teachers make sure that you get the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're not paying teachers top dollar like they should be paid, you're gonna have some that actually care and want to be in that
really
field
good
because
teachers.
they care. Yes, and then you have some that are just up to here because they're like, I can't do this.
Yeah,
you know, and they're barely
getting through the curriculum.
Yes.
And it's like you're trying to diffuse problems or do everything except teach.
You know, and like I said, I think it's done purposely because if we do all go out and vote, and then everything will be fair, and then of course, and we all vote for our interests instead of trying to vote for somebody that is feeding your inner evil or hatred, you know, and people actually vote for their own interests. Like it won't be a back and forth Republican Democrat. It will be people actually putting some people in office that help. It's always a Democrat that cleans things up to me after the damage has been done. And then we go back to Democrats. They clean it up, and then you get tired. You're mad at them for some reason,
right?
So and I brought those things up because I think that's something that we really, really, really need to concentrate on. I feel like for all these years we've just been, you know, the kids only know about the primary voting. They don't know about all of this stuff, and we do need to figure out a way. And it might be getting into the schools early to show them, and especially if you put it into rap, that sticks with the kids. You will know it sticks with them if they can repeat how Congress works, how everything is set up, however, you know, how the president has to go through, Congress has to go through, you know. So I think going into the schools is a wonderful idea. I like that idea.
And starting at even elementary school. I mean, they have to be introduced. The Board of Elections, and I don't know if people know, they let the kids vote. So, I mean, obviously not for judge, but it's so cool. So my daughters, I have 2 daughters. They're 8 and 11. And so they'll get out of school, get out of their program. They come down. They're like, no, we want to come to the Board of Elections with you. So they're holding the sign down there, you know, giving out information. And so they can go inside of the Board of Elections. They give them a sample ballot, and they're voting for, I don't know, ice cream flavors or, you know, different things. I didn't see the ballot. I didn't see their ballot. So, it gives them an experience. But they go to the window. They get their sample ballot. They print it off. They give them a ticket. They go in the booth, and they fill it out, and they slide it in the machine. And they give the kids, like, a nice little packet that talks about voting, crayons. Like, and it's so cool to see the kids excited about it. I mean, is anybody taking a field trip to the Board of Elections?
Nah, I've never heard of it before.
I mean, like, you know, have y'all been to the Board of Elections? Do you know what they do there? But just doing something engaging just to make it more interesting and letting our young people know these are your rights. Look what's going on right now. You know, look what's going on with the SNAP benefits and things like that. And everybody just, you know, wants to act like nothing is happening. And it's like, look, it's happening right in front of your face in real time.
The crazy part about it, right in front of our faces.
Your face. And if we do not vote to make a difference, it's just going to keep happening. And it's not going to be good.
It's not. And I think about that, and I say, like, well, how can it get back? You know what I'm saying? It's getting so far away from what we were doing just last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can we pull that back if we get the right people in office? But I guess I think about if this person was doing it, you know what I'm saying? Then why would I go back to following the rules and the laws?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I know I can do this and nobody's going to say anything.
And that's what's been going on.
It's like, how can we get the right people? And I honestly think we will. I don't know how much of a fight how much we're going to all have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And this is an all situation. But I think that we will. We have to.
Well, I think we don't wait till 2026. You don't wait till the primaries.
No.
The conversation needs to happen now.
Exactly.
So even though we have an election on November 4th, we need to be talking now. We need to be having them parties now. We need to be looking at the sample ballot now. We need to be pulling up with, you know, our wine, water, whatever, and, you know, having the conversation throughout the whole year. Let's not wait until it's a month before the primaries or, you know, right before election. It needs to be a continuous, ongoing conversation at the dinner table, you know, when we out to dinner with our friends, or, you know, having our girls trips, or whatever the case may be. It needs to be on the tip of our tongue in every conversation. People don't like to talk about politics, but we don't even have to get into
We
the
past
politics of it. We're past that. It's about good, bad, who we need in office, right is right, wrong is wrong. And let's have a continuous conversation and not wait until we see the yard signs or it's election time. It needs to be a part of our regular vocabulary day to day. So
Absolutely.
I agree.
yeah.
Now, also, you know, in a world that is steadily advancing, how do you feel AI can be of a benefit for, those who are looking to be elected and things like that? How can that also be a tool that you can use to spread awareness?
I actually, I would prefer not AI,
Okay.
because it's artificial intelligence, because people can create whatever they want using
they can.
AI, and it gets away from the real authenticity of a person.
Mm-hmm.
I think in politics, I would actually prefer, the real-time interviews, real commercials, real engagement, because when you go to AI, you can create it and make it look like whatever you want it to be. And people, as in our generation and what's going on in the world, if it's online, then it's real.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
when people see
No
it,
one's
it's like,
fact-checking.
oh, nobody's fact checking. Oh, well, this is what it said. And not realizing, well, that's AI. That's what AI put together. I need to hear from the actual person.
Yes.
And so I think I would like to move away from AI, especially in the political world, because you're getting away from the authenticity of the person in real life and these real heart-to-heart conversations. People can create anything they want, make it look
like
cool.
flying a plane.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like you flying, where you a superhero? What?
Right.
Where you doing? What is that? But then
It's
it goes to the
ridiculousness.
glamour of things instead of the real conversation. People are like,
Right.
oh, that looked great. It's not real.
It's not
It's
right.
fake. And we don't need fake people in office. We need
Right.
real, authentic people in office. So that's kind of my 2 cents with AI in regards to politics. So
Okay. So maybe using it more so for like maybe your marketing.
yeah,
side.
we can
Like,
you can use it for
divide
marketing.
the line.
Divide a line.
Yeah.
Make
I
a
got
flyer, do something like that. But when it comes to the candidate or elected
Events.
officials,
Yeah.
invite them out. Pull
Yes.
up.
Exactly.
Let's have a
Pull up.
conversation. Let's talk. Let me see who you are. Let me see where you stand, where you are on policies, and how you think you can make the city a better place for constituents. And I think you need to hear that from the person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So thinking about when you first decided that you wanted to take this leap and get into law and be a magistrate to start, and even moving on to judge, I know you have to look behind you and say, I've come so far and I've made it here. What type of a difference do you feel like you've made thus far in your career? Do you feel like you've been out here and you've made a difference and you can get to your community and be out there for your community, representing your community?
I do. I sincerely do. I started working in the prosecutor's office when I was 25 years old. I call it cultural competency.
Wait a minute, 25? You're not 25, girl?
Right.
It don't crack.
Right. I'm 25. I'm 25.
Right.
No, I had to be practicing for at least 6 years before you can run for judge. So that's a qualification.
Okay.
You have to be practicing for 6 years. But I feel like just like we have people that we want to advocate for in regards to defendants, there are also victims that need to be spoken up for. There are things that are hurting our sons, our little girls, our daughters, our people, our neighbors, and we need people to advocate for them too. And I think that was something when I was in the prosecutor's office. It's not about numbers or prosecution rates or who you're putting in jail. It's about, did anybody speak up for that little girl, for that little boy, for that victim? Because a lot of times we're not viewed the same as victims than our counterparts.
Right.
And so being in that position to make sure, you may not be able to articulate what happened to you or make somebody understand, but here, I'm your lawyer. I can speak for your behalf. I can tell that jury what happened to you. I can talk to you on the stand and help you get your story out because I understand your language. We're from the same communities. I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. A lot of times we get written off because of the way we communicate. And I think the biggest difference we can make within our criminal justice system is having lawyers, attorneys, and judges who can speak the language, who can understand, our perspective, and getting that person's story told in the courtroom. And I think that's the difference that I have made, making sure that we're having the conversations, we're going out in the neighborhoods.
Yes.
If I need to talk to a detective, or police officers. I might get a file and this file is completely empty. Well, nobody talked to, Mr. Tom that sits on the porch down the street. You just overlooked him. He sees everything all day.
Right. Been out there.
Can
tell you everything.
In the neighborhood. Exactly. But, you can't be afraid to go out into neighborhoods where you either want to prosecute, defend, be a police officer or whatever. You have to be comfortable in those communities and neighborhoods. And when you have somebody who is from those communities and neighborhoods, I don't have a problem going out. I feel safe anywhere I go. I'm safe on any MLK Boulevard.
Right.
So we need to make sure that we are out everywhere in every community and advocating for everybody.
Like you said, boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Well, awesome. So, we are speaking this by faith that you are
Yes.
going to win.
Oh, yes.
You got this in the bag, girl.
Look.
So,
Right.
pass it around.
Right.
So, what does the future look like for Khalilah Lawson? So, you had your time as the municipal court judge. What else would you like to venture off and do for future?
You know what? My future is bright. The White House could be in the future.
That's what I'm talking
We're taking it all the way up to
right now.
Taking it all the way up to the White House.
Mm-hmm.
All the way to the White House where we can make decisions that really impact our people.
Yeah.
So who knows? I might be president of the United States.
Man.
You might.
I just might.
About to.
Right.
You just
Well,
might.
we're rooting for you 1,000%.
Thank
And
you.
Everything,
Thank you.
and it's a blessing to be able to meet you, so we can say we know her.
Yes.
Right.
Same.
We've been rocking with her all these years.
Look,
And
since
look at
day
us
one.
now.
Since day one. Right. Yes.
Right. Awesome.
Back on the pull up.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna be like,
you must.
right,
You must.
Madam President.
Right. I know that's right.
Like-
Yes, back on the pull up. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
us. We calling in that favor.
Look, y'all got the direct line. We're not screening calls. Like, I know that number.
Well, listen, we have our staple questions.
Yes.
That our audience, I'm sure, is familiar with. So when it comes to, and you've pretty much alluded to this throughout the whole interview, but just to maybe just tie it all together, how do you feel when it comes to collaboration that Cleveland itself can be more of a collaborative place for whatever it is you're trying to do, whether you're trying to run for office, whether you're trying to start a business, how can we be more, community-based and really pull for each other?
I would circle back to that conversation we had about the schools.
Yeah.
CMSD schools, I would love to collaborate with our school system, making sure that we have programs in that are talking about the law, the street law classes, like you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Just education in general about the law and the court system. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, listen, since you trying to go big or go home, and you talking White House, then this next question, I feel like the sky's the limit of who you may choose. But when it comes to collaboration of who you would like to collaborate with, whether it's a person, whether it's an organization, whether it's whoever it may be, maybe it's an influencer to help get your name really out here. Who is it where would you like to collaborate?
I don't know if I have a particular person's name that comes to mind. What I can say, we talk about synergy,
Right.
And working. I want to collaborate with a person whose dreams are as bright as mine, and who wants to go as far as I want to go. So if you have the passion and the drive, I don't care if you small business, big business. If your mindset is let's go, let's get it done, and we can go all the way to the moon, then we collaborate.
Okay.
That's what I want on the team.
That's
Nice.
fair.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
All right.
All right. So, as far as your legacy, your parents and the people that you have as your foundation seem like they really pushed you and were really there for you, and that you have a strong foundation. We'd like to know, what would you like for your legacy to be, both personally and professionally?
I would say personally, especially for my daughters, for them to see their mom in this position. And I gotta shout out my husband too, because my husband is amazing. He is 10 toes down with me, right, on everything I do. But to say that my mom showed up, she never quit. When it got hard, she never caved. She never gave up. And for them to see me when they're facing moments in their life that are difficult, they say, well, remember that time when mommy ran for judge and, we had the long nights. We were, packing candy bags and we had to get literature together. We were rubber banding leaflets all night. And, maybe we didn't have a hot meal for dinner. We had to eat pizza, but mommy always made sure that she made time for us, but she kept going and following her dreams. I think I want my daughters to know that when you start something, you finish it, and you finish it strong. You don't slack up. You make people be uncomfortable. You know, it's never, oh, well, they don't like what I'm doing, or they didn't like what I said. It doesn't matter. You be your true, unapologetic, authentic self, and you make everybody in that room uncomfortable when you walk in.
That sparks change.
And that's what sparks the change. And that's what we need. We need the change makers. So I think personally, that's what I want to instill in my daughters and any other, you know, little girl that's watching. Like, don't let anybody dim your light. Professionally, just to make sure that whatever you are doing and how you're speaking to people, make sure you have grace for people, because you don't know how they're coming to you, what they're coming with to you with their traumas. So give people grace, patience. And I think that's what I want people to remember about me. Like, you know, she's a compassionate person. She's understanding, and she hears all sides of it. And that's what you're going to get when you come into my courtroom. Somebody that is compassionate, understanding, but always fair and holding people accountable.
Awesome.
Yes, I love it.
Thank you.
Well, Ken, do you want to take the final question of the night? Do you remember it? Okay. She was with us last night, y'all. So
We'll give her some grace.
Right, some grace.
Yes.
I want you to think I forgot about you. But listen, we've had. I mean, this has been a blessed night. I mean, to be able to learn more, to be able to hear about your journey, to know that the sky's the limit of where you're going from here. You know, just a phenomenal, you know, the work that you're doing for our community. We thank you.
Thank you for the full experience.
Absolutely.
You come across as fair and compassionate.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'm sure those that are watching as well as listening would say the same.
Yeah.
And when we tie this all together and put a pretty little bow on it, what would you like to say is maybe the 3 takeaways that someone watching or listening should be able to gather from tonight?
That I'm a real person.
Okay.
That I am a real, authentic person. You can touch me. You can talk to me. I am the girl next door. I'm your homegrown Cleveland, you know, regular girl who wants to just make a difference, who happens to be running for political office. But, you know, nothing has ever changed about me, that you have somebody where you can walk into a courtroom and feel like, you know what, I'm going to be treated fairly. But also to make sure that they do their research and that we want to make sure that you become more engaged. If I can tell you anything, please research candidates. We can Google everything else. Google the candidates. Google, you know, people that are running for office. Look at those sample ballots. We need you engaged and informed because your voice is your vote, and we can change this world. It's not a cliche. We can do it. We just got to get out there.
I agree. All right.
Yes.
Well, I think those are great takeaways.
Wonderful.
And I guess the most important question of the night is, how can people learn more about you? What's your social media, you know?
So you can definitely go to my website, which is www.klawsonforjudge.com. It's not just the landing page, has all my information, but you can also go to my Instagram. My Instagram is at LawLoveK, LawLovek, first letter of my name, so because I love the law. So at LawLoveK, we post so many videos, reels, commercials, and then my Facebook is elect Khalilah Lawson for judge, or just Khalilah Lawson, my name. So, and everything's public. We have nothing to hide. So if you just type my name in, you can Google it. It's gonna come up. So please follow me on my social media handles. Check us out. You know, go to the website, look at the information that we post. We are out here every single day, boots on the ground, doing what we need to do in the community, trying to make sure that people are informed and we're meeting people where they are.
And where did you say early vote? When did you say early voting stops?
Early voting stops on Sunday.
Okay.
So early voting. So this week we're there from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Saturday, the Board of Elections is open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. That's on 18th Superior. It's the old Plain Dealer building. That's what it is. We said that. It's the old Plain Dealer building. Come down. There are no lines. It's short. It's a big parking lot. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm coming downtown. I have nowhere to park.
Right.
Come, pull up, park your car, go inside, have your ID. It is quick. It takes less than 5 minutes to cast your vote. Yes. So see you at the Board of Elections or on Election Day on November 4th.
There we go.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sitting with us. We are so happy to have you. we jumped out at the chance to have you on because of course, the climate, and we want people to come out and vote and understand the importance of coming out and supporting people that you feel like represent you.
Thank you.
So we are absolutely ecstatic about having you, and you are episode 301.
Yes,
301. Yes. And thank you so much for sitting down with the pull-up experience.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed you, ladies. It was wonderful. Thank you.
The ladies edition, guys.
Yes, ladies edition. Ladies night, right?
All right, we will catch you guys next time.
Oh,
Bye.
one more thing, real quick. If you haven't noticed, we are drinking
that's true.
Drip Alkaline Water. Shout out to Ernie. Drip Alkaline Water is Cleveland based. It is amazing. We love it. And make sure you support Ernie with Drip Alkaline Water. Any businesses, if you want to carry the water, it will not disappoint. It is amazing.
Yeah, very good. And of course, our girl, To You Wines, where we do it every time.
Every time.
Every episode. So make sure y'all pull up and get that as well. All right?
All right.
All right. Now.
Episode 301, guys.
Good night.
Peace.
See y'all.
Good night.
Bravo!